Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present this podcast to you in all its glory. They are the bearded wonders, the twin sons from different mothers. He is Blake, he is Sal, and together they are the Blake and Sal Show. And if you're not okay with that, I have two words for you. Stay tuned.
Do you hear what I hear? Do you see what I see? 'Cause October is over and you know what that means to me. Well, it isn't even snowing, but my heart's already glowing. Gonna take a jack-o'-lantern and make it in a pumpkin pie. Oh, well, try spreading the Christmas cheer. Nobody wants to hear it till December, but I've waited a whole year. No, they don't understand, and it's driving me mad. 'Cause this is the greatest season, why not make it last? They say I'm crazy for Christmas every year, and maybe a bit much, I don't care. 'Cause baby, the first of November I put on a sweater and day. Oh, they say I'm crazy for Christmas.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 442. I am your host, Blake. I've been bringing on my co-host. First of all, my best friend, and the guy who it's nice to see very, very happy going into Christmas season for a change. Speaking to podcasting, Sal, how you doing?
I mean, it's nice not wanting to feel like hanging yourself from the ceiling every day.
It's nice not having holiday depression, right? Isn't that nice? All right. Let's bring on our other co-host, the man who right before we start recording today, he's like, I might have you guys play the who you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I'm like, you're not a Grinch. Stop acting like one. You're just acting. You're just in the mood. You're not a Grinch. The man with the left, Mark. Dad, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
Sal, what are we opening with? I actually don't know this song.
This is Lindsey Sterling with Bonnie McKee, and it's called "Crazy for Christmas."
I like this. It's very bouncy.
Lindsey Sterling is Patrick's favorite violinist.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, wait a
She
minute.
just put out a Christmas
Wait a
album.
minute. She plays the violin too?
This is a
Well, she
really...
doesn't sing. She just plays.
So Bonnie is the one singing. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Did you happen to see anyone else besides me, and Mandy, watch the Disney Holiday Christmas special? They did the Christmas celebration they did on Sunday night. We did hit with Packer games, so you probably didn't see it, Dad. They had I forgot who it was. It was an artist that came out. It was an old school piano player, but it was like this young, like 20-something female. And he's playing piano. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is so cool to bring this back, especially with like Elton John retiring and everything. It was so nice to bring this back. It was really, really cool. So, all right. Well, actually, let's get into things. Well, we're not going to stall too much here in the opening here because for those who don't know, a little bit behind the scenes, this is our second podcast of the day. So we're all kind of like, okay, let's get into the second show.
Yeah, we traveled back in time for this one.
We did draw back in time for this one. If you're wondering, wait a couple of weeks. You'll find out what the hell we're talking about. Wait a couple of weeks. Help support the show and all the podcasts you can find the show and other podcasts we work on at theblakeshow.com. Sal.
You can find our shirts, stickers, hoodies, hand sanitizer, and more from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our site, or go to TeePublic and search the Blake and Sal Show.
Hey, did our Blake and Sal show with Mark cookie cutters come in yet?
First of all, the funny part about that's not a thing, but they do have masks. They during the pandemic, so that's actually pretty funny. And no, there's metal items actually available. But again, as I always say, if you really want a cookie cutter with our picture on, just buy a sticker, throw it on a cookie cutter, and give it as a gift. There you go. And if all else fails, just get one of those free ones you get from State Fair. That's still the same thing. You know? Same difference.
Wow.
All right, let's go to break. We'll come right back. All right, as always, if you're looking for a Christmas present for your for a stocking stuffer or anything else, really, go find Mandy's book. I know I am available right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Arntown Publishing. and in English and in Spanish. Go pick it up. She'll appreciate it. All right. So before we get into the run sheet, we had some breaking news break right before we came on the air. So, Sal, why don't you tell us what's going on, like right before we came on?
Yeah, so literally broke about 20 minutes ago, I want to say. Pittsburgh Penguins announced that Chris Letang is out indefinitely after suffering a stroke on Monday.
Wow.
Wow.
That's shocking. Like, absolutely shocking.
They're saying
How
that
old?
there's no lasting.
How old is Chris Letang? I just asked that question. I don't know how old he is. I'm looking at it real fast. This is literally breaking, so I haven't even had a chance to like scramble and do research on it because like I said, we were doing a different podcast right before this, so I'm trying to scramble to get all this together because it broke while we were doing that. He is 35.
35, yep.
35.
Holy.
So young. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I actually thought he was older. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was older than 35 because he's been in the league for so long. I thought he was older. But yeah,
Wow.
so
That all the wear and tear to his body has got a wow.
that one shocked me. That one shocked me. So I just wanted to open up at that and send wishes out to him and all the Pittsburgh fans out there. I know Mike, big friend of the show, is a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. So throw that out there right now. All right, let's jump back to the run sheet I actually typed out. And we don't have a whole lot because it's a holiday week, but I was able to throw together a nice little run sheet for us. Well, first things first, let's start with the big thing going on around here is the World Cup. I'm not watching much of it. Every time I text Sal, he's watching the World Cup. Every time I text him.
Yeah, I'm
am
watching
not
part
watching.
of it.
I'm not watching really with any of it. I didn't keep track of Team USA. We know Team USA did advance in the knockout round against the Netherlands. From what I'm hearing, they're going to get killed. But
They are killed, yes.
killed. But congratulations to them for at least advancing. Even though this is the only time I've ever seen somebody advance as a 1-0-2 record. But whatever, it's soccer. Go with it. Sal, you've been watching a lot more than me. So how is the World Cup anyway?
It's been fun. I mean, it feels different. I don't know if it's just because of where they're playing. I don't know if it's just because, they're playing in November, December, and it just kind of feels weird because I'm used to the World Cup being like in the summer months.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. It was funny. I was actually watching yesterday, before the USA match, and then I wound up leaving. I didn't watch it anyway. They were doing the top 5 goals so far. And it's funny how 3 of the 5 goals all came from the same game, which I thought was kind of weird.
Well, but there's not many goals scored, so I'm surprised there was 5.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying that there were 86 goals scored up until that point.
And only
the
2 of them
top-
by Team USA.
And the top 5, yeah, and the top 5 were all in the same game: Argentina and someone, I don't
Of
remember.
course. Of course.
I mean, I gotta give credit for Team USA so far for at least tying 2 games with good teams. But I think realistically, when they came into this event, I think they already knew that they were going to be going in as underdogs.
Well, not as underdog as some teams are. At least Canada
Oh,
scored
yeah,
a goal
and
for the first time
this
ever.
isn't a hot dog eating contest. We'd do good with that.
I'm gonna say at least it's not like Canada, who when they came in, like they've never scored a goal, and this is the first time they scored. They still lost the game 3-1, but they got a goal. But I was doing a live ride during that because we were going out to breakfast. I was doing a live ride before we went out to breakfast for Dad's birthday. And I was on the bike, and I get on the bike, and I'm posting pictures. A bunch of my teammates are posting pictures up, and someone's like, "It's Canadian." She's like, "I meant to put the picture up faster, but Team Canada scored a goal. That's a big deal." I'm like, "Okay, but you still lost." Yeah, still lost. Like, at the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
whatever. So definitely make sure we recognize that here. Let's jump over to a little bit of update from our New Jersey Devils. Apparently, they talk of the NHL right now. Literally, the talk of the NHL. We are the
Number
top
one
of
in
the
the
league.
league as of today.
Yes, as of the recording. Yeah, versus going up on Friday is Wednesday, and we are the number 1 team in the National Hockey League in the standings, which is unreal to say. I cannot believe we're saying that. And if anybody, I don't know, I don't. This is one of those things where I'm actually confident. It's weird. I'm not used to being confident with this damn team. It's weird. So anyway, last time we left you, we were on a 13-game heater, as Jack Hughes would like to say. We did lose. They were back on another 3-game winning streak. So yay for that. I beat the Rangers. We killed the Rangers at the Garden. That was fun. But anyway, what I wanted to make sure I brought up here, besides the winning streak, in fact, we are the best team in the league right now. Last Thursday, because we did the show on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had the game against Toronto. That's the game we lost, and we got screwed. And referees called 3 goals off. And after the 3rd goal was called off, we're in New Jersey. Crowd is pissed, and emotions are high. The winning streak's about to end, and fans decided to start throwing stuff on the ice, and water bottles and beer bottles and all this crazy stuff got thrown on the ice. And it went to an actual debate in the Devils community, me and Sal are in, on was it an embarrassment for the league, was it an embarrassment for the team? And then you have the old school fans like us, where it's like, well, shit happens, like things happen, emotions happen. Dad, where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on
that saying, fuck around and find out? Well, that was pretty much what it was.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I mean, I look at this being an objective person, and it's like, I understand referees are supposed to do what they're supposed to do, but if they're blatant calls that they're not catching.
It's not blatant calls. They called back 3 goals. They called back 3 goals on bullshit calls. And one of them, one of the calls, it wasn't exactly they called it back. There was a video from 2 games ago on the exact same kind of goal against the Devils. Exact same kind of goal with the exact same issues.
Okay, so let me rephrase this. If the refs aren't being, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess nitpicky. My thing is, it sounds like instead of being objective, they're being subjective, and I don't get that.
Okay, perfect segue. You didn't even know I did this. This is on the run sheet. Sal, I sent you the clip from the Dallas Colorado game the other day with the referee. Okay, so there's a high sticking call, and we always joke with the high sticking call in the NHL. It's 2 minutes and 4 minutes for blood. We always joke about that. It's always been a thing. It's been like that since the 90s.
Yes.
I've never heard this happen.
The play is killed due to an injury. There's no injury, no penalty. Oh boy.
Bullshit.
You missed that. That he actually said, this is in Colorado. It's a penalty against Dallas. And he goes and says, the call was played due to an injury. There's no injury. That means there is no foul. I have never heard that.
Wait, wait. So they're using the, and I'll say rationale very loosely, that because there's no injury, there's no penalty.
That is what he actually said. Those are the words that he said.
Like where did that come
Okay. Has anyone decided to make a complaint regarding?
I have been watching this sport for 30 years. For 30 years, I have been watching this damn sport, and I have never heard that before. First.
I mean, if the officiating is kind of like all over the place, wouldn't you think you would file a protest and agreements to figure out what the heck is going on?
It was 2 different it was 2 different freaking 2 different like reffing crews. That's the crazy part about it.
And that's what I'm getting at is, aren't there supposed to be things that are supposed to be constant?
You would think. So I had to share that as a random weird shit that went on. I'm sorry, I just saw this at me grabbing. I'm
trying to find something and I found that, and I think that one's perfect.
Very funny. Anyway, let's move on. Let's jump over to some wrestling stuff. There's not a whole lot going on. We'll get to Survivor Series last because I do want to talk about that. We'll get to their last though. Let's go over to AEW. First of all, before we even get to what I have down here, what did you guys think of the William Regal segment to open the show? That did not have Mox involved. Mox is there. MJF is not. Brian was involved. What do you think? I enjoyed this.
I am kind of puzzled on how this is going to evolve. I mean, Brian being the voice of reason, God, which is unusual. Claudio being like the big brother that basically kind of wants to clean house, and Mox, who of course is unhinged. Understandable, and the person that has caused this whole chaotic thing is at that time just being really tight-lipped about everything. And I think the reason for that is he wants to give MJF his chance and his due, and have MJF explain the strange relationship between him and Regal.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Mox was going to be off TV already, so I don't know what's going on there.
As Mandy said, it would be kind of weird for Renee to go on vacation when she just started this job. So maybe they're just not going on vacation yet.
Awesome.
When you put it that way, you know what I mean?
First of the year?
Well, look at her perspective. Is John wants to spend more time with his family? He has his family with him now all the time, so it's not like think about it from that perspective.
That's true.
So I'm interested. Like we're recording this before Dynamite, but I'm intrigued. I don't know where this is going. The next matchup for MJF is actually going to be Ricky Starks, which I feel so bad for Ricky Starks because that's the next match I have for MJF.
Oh, yeah.
I really feel bad for him.
Wait, is that tonight?
That's not tonight. The winter is coming. I think in 2 weeks. I think it's in
Oh,
2 weeks. The winter is coming.
Yeah.
But still, I feel bad for him. Like I'm happy he's getting the push, but not now. Like not now, or at least get at least go for like the TNT Championship right now because like you have a better chance against Samoa Joe. But by the way, apparently last week because we didn't don't do the entire show, and we usually talk about title changes, we never talked about Samoa Joe winning the TNT Championship. We never talked about it because we all forgot. We forgot about it, which shows how memorable the title change was. And Sal was at the show, and we all forgot about it.
Oops.
So I just wanted to make that. I thought about that when I was thinking, like, oh, that's pretty funny. Speaking of championships, though, Thunder Rosa was stripped of the AEW Women's Championship, which, by the way, was the most formal way I've ever heard of somebody getting stripped by a championship with how they announced that. It was so
And
formal.
how Renee announced it.
Yeah, I love Renee, but that was so polite and formal. I was cracking up at
Yes.
that.
So this leads the question is her contract status with AEW kind of still up in the air then?
Well, she's injured, so she's legitimately.
I understand that, but I thought there were other rumblings that there may have been issues regarding contract.
I don't know. I honestly don't have a clue. I haven't heard anything. And AEW is pretty good to talk about that kind of stuff, not talk about that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure
Okay.
how that works. But the important part here is now Jamie Hayter is the AEW Women's Champion, no longer interim. And which okay, fine. Tony Storm's championship reign is now a world title, is now a women's championship reign, not an interim championship reign retroactively, which might be the strangest way of putting it. You could have just like put it on the website and nobody would have noticed, but they had to make a big deal out of it on TV. Sal, go ahead. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it just was kind of odd how she just dropped the title like that. So I don't know, I heard rumors that she was leaving AEW. I don't know if that's true or not. So
Thunder Rosa?
Thunder Rosa, yeah.
I've been hearing that for a while, but again, she's hurt, so I'm not sure what's going on. And she didn't talk about it really, so I'm not really sure. It's not like she's not on Busted Open every Friday. You know what I mean? Where they could ask her.
Yeah.
They never do.
My thing is I thought that they would have at least brought her on the show and basically let her say her piece and then let her go back.
I've heard rumors that her and Britt have a lot of heat, so maybe they don't want them in the same locker room right now.
That's probably a good thing.
I've heard that rumor. A lot.
Nice segue. Speaking of Britt,
What about Britt? Go ahead.
how long before the good doctor turns on her friend to get the strap back?
That is a great question. When do you do that match? Because they don't have a pay-per-view now until March. So when do you do that? I know you're gonna have to do it eventually. Do you wait 4 months or do you do it on television? Sal, what do you think?
I say have her turn at Revolution.
Ooh, in March. Are you going that far out? Okay.
Yeah, have her turn on. At least give her a couple of months.
Okay,
Have her
that's fine.
turn on her in March and then build it up for
Double or nothing.
Double or Nothing. Yeah, what is that,
Man,
May?
there's only 2 months. It's only 2.5 months then. So,
Because I mean, if you're looking at stuff, how she's cutting off Jamie and she's putting her hand on their belt and stuff like that. I mean, it's leading up
I just
to
said belt.
to
I
that.
just said belt.
The belt. It's leading up to that, and you can see it. Now, my thing is, how far do you want to go with the storyline?
Probably end up with a title match. I guess Hal said eventually. I'm thinking almost Revolution, but it's going to more the money. Knowing the Double or Nothing might work, but I don't know. This storyline's been going on for so long. At this point already, this is not like it's one of those things where I don't know if Tony Khan is that patient. to wait until the middle of next year to culminate this.
Storytelling.
I agree, and trust me, we're talking about great storytelling later in the show. But there
There
was
you
one
go.
thing I forgot. I just thought about that. I completely lost my train of thought. So Friday, on an episode of Rampage that nobody watched because it was in the middle of the daytime and everyone forgot. So we didn't watch. For Friday, we did not watch Rampage in the afternoon. As a matter of fact, I was watching something else.
I did.
You did. I didn't. Me and Mandy didn't. Me and Mandy usually watch it night right after SmackDown. Mandy was taking a nap. She wasn't feeling well Friday, and I think I was watching a movie, and I was working out. So decided, you done making little emojis on the sunburn sheet?
I did it the one time. Why can't I do it again?
But anyway, so on Rampage they had a match. Which, by the way, the joke now on Torch Audio is Mark Henry actually there, or did he pre-record all these? Except for that one with Orange Cassidy. Is he actually ever showing up in the building? I wanted to look actually changing his outfit week to week now because it's a little ridiculous. But an episode of Rampage that nobody watched, we had a massive turn happen. And Sal texts me freaking out, and I'm like, I didn't watch it yet. I'm watching it later. I wish I was, because normally I'm going to be blunt about this. Usually we're watching Rampage, we're high as fuck. But me and Mandy were really, really sick on Friday. Like, really, really sick. Like, I actually had a fever and I was really cold. So I was really, really sick. So I watched Rampage we watched it before SmackDown. So Sal, why would you tell everyone what the hell happened here?
10 turned on Dark Order and unmasked, and then threw his mask on the ground right in front of -1, who just apparently was there. I didn't even realize, and made him cry, which the heel part of me makes me happy, but you know.
That doesn't surprise me. Well, it's interesting. So two things came to mind as this segment is going on. Number one, I will believe that -1 would be there because it was a holiday week. So he's off school. I will go with it because it was a holiday week. But they filmed the show on Wednesday. So it's a holiday week. I could 100%, because like CJ was off on Wednesday. So I can completely understand that. So that's why he's there. And then for those who don't know the history with Preston Vice and -1, they're like really, really close in the real world. So they got to play that story on television, which is great TV. I'm not gonna lie. I love that kind of stuff. If you're gonna do it on television. And my other thought was, and I know this is gonna sound so fucking bad when I say it. When he took the mask off, I'm like, why has he been wearing a mask for 3 years? He's actually good looking. Why the fuck is he wearing a mask for 3 years?
Well, isn't that what they said, that -1 Ken is his favorite Dark Order member?
Yeah, but like, so now Princeton Vice is now with douchebag, and I don't like Roosh. I don't like the guy. Personally, I don't like the guy. But I always talk shit about him. But I don't like him. So Princeton Vice is now teaming up with Roosh for some reason. I don't know why.
Because Andrade's gone.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Andrade in a minute.
Yeah.
But my issue with we lose Andrade and we keep Roosh. What the fuck? What did we do wrong? Did you keep Roosh? What the fuck did we do wrong?
Back the wrong horse?
It's funny for Sal laughed every time I talk to him about Roosh. Me and Dad dealt with him with Ring of Honor. We know how much of a douchebag he is. So we know what he is.
In all honesty, I'd rather have his brother Dragon Lee than Rush.
Oh, how about Bandito? Well, let's keep Bandito. If that's what we get out of all this, we get Bandito and we can get rid of Roosh, I'll be happy. Yeah,
That's even better.
yeah, I'll be happy. So, speaking of Andrade, Sal, thank you for that segue. Andrade, we find out he had surgery on a torn pec. This pec, we found it out from him. He put pictures up, so that's it's coming here from the source. He has surgery, so we don't even know how long. We don't even know who's under if he's under AEW contract at this point. We don't even know. We have no idea what's going on with him. We just know. What was that, Sal?
Oh, Cody Rhodes of him.
It's very Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
It's not. He didn't go into a Hell in a Cell match and become a freaking megastar.
So now that we back, I mean, what happens to the rest of the members of Dark Order? They go on their own, or
Oh,
Else is like literally Johnny Hungy and the other one. That's it.
well, they're a tag team now. Now they're a tag team at this point. Well, even Uno, John and Hungy, and who's the other guy? Alex Reynolds?
Oh yeah.
Is that it? Is that it? Is there a trio now? No, they're a trio. They can go for the trios titles.
yeah, they're a trio.
After the best of seven's over.
And if you include Hangman Page occasionally,
Okay. Well, okay. Did anyone pay attention during match 2 of the Best of 7? To all the weird shit the Bucks were doing? The Bucks and Hangman and Bucks and Cody and Kenny were doing. Kenny at one point
they were doing punk moves.
yeah, Kenny hit a bit on bit somebody's arm at one point. Something quite a thing could happen, and then I missed this live, but apparently Matt Jackson went for a what was the move? The buckshot lariat and fell, just like Punk did in the match. Like he did that. And then they had the DTS. They're in Chicago and they're torturing the crowd. It's been so much fun. The crowd starts saying fuck the elite. Like it was crazy during that match. And I'm like, okay, fine. This is a thing. But
So, as a wrestling fan, do I want to see the remainder of these 7 matches get played out?
although can somebody explain to me why none of these matches are on Rampage? Like, why are none of these matches on Rampage? Rampage is struggling in the ratings. Why are they not putting these matches on Rampage?
You know, there's such a thing as overdoing it, and I think the Best of 7 is overdoing it. I'm sorry.
I don't know how they're going to make this work, especially now that the league's down 2-0. I don't understand this thing. I don't understand why we're doing a Best of 7. I don't understand why it'd have to happen. It's so annoying.
All I know is I don't know whose brainchild it is, but whoever said yes to that in green light, and I don't want to mention any names.
Okay.
should have been thinking with a clear head.
He was. He's like, oh, the elite's back. They want to do a Best of 7. I'll let them do whatever they want.
It doesn't mean we have to cram it down everyone's throats. I mean, a little at a time.
We'll get off on January 4th when they go to Japan. When they go to Japan for WrestleMania.
There we go. There's our break.
Week off from this. Anyway,
that's our break.
I brought up Andrade. We'll jump over to one more major. This is a massive one, and I'm kind of sad for this one. Randy Orton. He disappeared. He went back. We didn't know what happened. No one really talked about it. They said he was hurt. So we find out through his wife. Because apparently his wife, Kurt Angle's wife, and I forgot the other one have a podcast together. Like you do. And on there, they revealed that Randy Orton had back fusion surgery.
Oh.
And we don't even know if he may have to retire. He may actually have, this is the same kind of surgery Shawn Michaels had. And Randy Orton's way older than Shawn Michaels when he had that surgery. So
this is
nothing
crazy to fool around with. I mean, I part of me understands for the love of the business and how you want to go back and do this again, but then you got to think realistically that do you want to jeopardize your health where basically you're still able to get up and walk as opposed to being in a wheelchair and not walking?
Randy Orton is 42 years old. I don't believe it until I actually looked it up just now. He is 42 years old. He does not have to do this anymore. He can step away. He's had a great career. He's going to go on the Hall of Fame. He does not have to do this anymore. And you know, the funny part is I've seen him get interviewed and he's so casual and he's such a good dad. And like, I think he might just step away. All is said and done.
I think with this injury has caused them or hopefully forced them to rethink things. And here's the thing, you know, you're spending quality time with your family now where you weren't able to before. So, you know, take it for what it is. It's a plus. It's something that most people don't get a second chance to do. So, I mean, and you've got nothing to prove to anyone. You've accomplished several things throughout your career. So no one can say you didn't do this. You did this.
By the way, his first wrestling match on WWE TV was April 25th, 2002.
Wow.
Wasn't he at the time the youngest person that won the world championship?
He's the youngest world heavyweight championship to this day. He beat Brock Lesnar's record.
Correct.
Which,
so
by the way, was such a petty thing to do. Because really, they did put the belt on Orton just so they could get Brock a record. Because that's when Brock left the company, and then went to when he went to the UFC, and then went to play football and all that weird shit that went on. They did that. Mm-hmm. They did that to take the record from Brock. It had nothing to do with Orton. It's so stupid what they did there. But Sal, any thoughts on this whole Orton situation?
Very sad, and I mean, he's pretty much accomplished everything already. There's really no need to go on at this point.
I agree. I won't be shocked if, say, WrestleMania, we find out he's going to announce his retirement. I will not be shocked at all.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
It'd be a great way to do it. Great place to do it.
he's got this how can I put it? When he envelops a persona and he really gets into it, I mean, and he knows the ins and outs of the business and psychology. I mean, this is things that basically you could pass on to someone else and you know, take a person under your wing and make them into something that they would later on become to be a successful person in that industry, because he's got it. I can see that he wants to pass on the stuff that he's learned to other people.
By the way, I did look this up. He was a 14-time world champion. Holy shit. I did not realize he held the belt that many times. I did not realize that. Like, that is crazy to me. And won 2 Royal Rumbles. So, like, yeah, he's done it all. Let's step away. While we're in WWE, we'll jump over to Survivor Series War Games.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, I know Sal didn't watch live. He watched it the next day. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. It was a nice tight, like 3 hours. Like, I had a lot of fun with this show. I don't remember what happened in the AJ Styles Finn Balor match, but hey, the rest of the show was good.
I remember it. But
I watched it. Couldn't tell you what the hell happened during it, but it happened. The match happened. And from what people told me, people in reviews said it was a lot like a house show match.
yeah, pretty much.
So let's talk about the War Games matches. First of all, the Women's War Games opened the show. But by the way, so Sal, you weren't watching live during the pre-show. They go and say the Men's War Game is opening the show, and then a half hour later, like the Women's War Game match is opening the show. Which, once you realize what they were doing, and once you realize what the story was going to be throughout the show, the Men's War Game match had to be the main event. It had to be. There was really no doubt in my mind.
Someone's earpiece wasn't functioning, I guess.
That was interesting. But anyway, Women's War Game match opened the show. Oh, sorry. Ozzy Osbourne opened the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Sal texted me. I'm like, why are we watching an Ozzy Osbourne video of War Games? Why are we doing this? So,
was not necessary.
It seemed like it was like a 6-minute commercial to buy Ozzy Osbourne's new music, Patient Number 9.
Here's the problem, though. If it was going to be that, use the song from that album and not War Pigs. That's the problem that ran in here. Yeah, he was there to promote the album, but they never brought it up until like 2 hours into the show. Bring it up. That's the funniest part about that. They brought up
buy Ozzy's new music. Yeah, that's it.
But anyway, so a lot of my references are going to come from the press conference that happened afterwards. I didn't watch the press conference. Like 45. By the way, so I talked to Stella about this. AEW press conferences can go like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I never actually make them through them because they're so fucking long. WWE press conference for this one, it was 45 minutes, and it was really fucking good. It was really, really, really good. So definitely go watch that if you have time. So a couple references I made from there. Triple H with Paul Levesque was asked, how did he get Ozzy Osbourne to do the opening? He's like, I called him and I asked him. Crack me up. That might be the funniest answer. So anyway, what was War Games? Sal, what do you think?
I liked it. It was fun. It didn't feel like it dragged, except for that one.
What was that?
Except for that one match.
Yeah, well, the Women's War Game match, I thought it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was like a lot of people were having issues with how sloppy it was. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's a War Games match. It's not going to be a perfect match. It's not. This is not how it's going to be. I thought it was good for what it was. Becky jumping off the top of the cage to get the pinfall at the end was surprising. Did not see that one coming.
Definitely. I didn't see that either.
At no level did I expect her first match back. She's going to jump off the top of the War Games cage and go through a table. At no level.
This is a statement coming from her after, I don't know if it was part of the press conference where when they were asking her when she was climbing up to get to that part on the cage, the little ledge, and she even said that her hands were sweating really bad, her knees were kind of like, as she puts it, kind of limp, like she was going like dead weight, because part of her didn't know if she could actually pull this off
I have a
until
question.
she.
What press
Yeah.
conference did you watch?
No, I'm saying, did that come up from the press conference?
No, none of that came up. Absolutely
Okay.
none of you're saying actually was said during the
Okay.
press conference. I
Because
watched it.
supposedly,
None of
I
that
guess
was brought up.
supposedly she
The only
mentioned
thing
it,
she
and
brought
then
up, the only thing she brought up is the fact that her ass hurt. That's the
Mhm.
first thing she said when she's not down. I'm doing so. My ass hurts, but I'm doing good.
well, it was weird because I thought at first I didn't know if she was gonna jump, and she just like walked right off.
I was like, that was an awesome finish. I guess a lot of people are wondering, is damage control still working? Sal, is damage control still working for you?
I feel like they're getting kind of stale already, which is kind of sad considering.
That's actually been the common. A lot of people have been saying that. I'm not. I'm obviously biased with my girl. I'm very biased. That's why I'm asking you guys, because if I don't, I'm not going to ever complain about a damage control segment as long as if Bailey's going to be wearing outfits like she did on Monday. I'm never going to complain, ever. But that's why I was asking you guys' opinions. Dad, what do you think? Dad, what do you think?
I think we keep damage control for a little bit longer for the storyline, because Becky's already said in storyline that she wants to take them all out individually, and I think once you do that, then you can end the damage control.
I guess. I don't know. I'm interested. I don't know where this is going to go. So before we get to the main event, Austin Theory is the U.S. champion. I did not see that one coming on any fucking
Nope.
level. No way did I
Nope.
see it coming. So CJ watched half the show with us, and then he went in by dad to watch the other half of the show. And we're watching the end of this match that led to the finish. And I gotta admit, it was very creative. I give him points for creativity because I didn't see that coming.
Mhm.
Where Austin Theory, where Austin was what was the whole thing? What was the sequence? Oh, it was going for the stomp. It got countered into A-Town down, and then it got countered. And as he's in midair with Seth going, I forgot what move it was. It was in midair, and all of a sudden it was spear by Lashley, and Austin Theory landed on Seth for the pin. The best part for me was the moment it happened. The crowd did not know how to react, and then they cut to the audience of people that did not know they're on TV, and you could tell that you always tell the difference between people that know they're on TV and don't know they're on TV, or not trying to be on TV. Of like, what the fuck just happened? It was a great moment, natural moment from the crowd of what the fuck just happened. Now your reactions to the whole thing.
How long did Seth have the title? Like what, 2 weeks?
Out maybe a month tops. Tops.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why we got rid of the Money in the Bank for this. But whatever, I guess. I don't know. Dad, what do you think?
I don't know. Are we trying to kind of share the wealth with the belt and seeing what happens if you put on someone else and see where it goes?
I also do like the character change. I don't understand the Beyblade sponsorship that happened on Saturday, but other than that, I do like the character change.
The more aggressive and focused Austin Theory.
And no selfies and no camera phone and no random shit like that anymore. Like I actually like that.
The very serious Austin Theory, which
he grew up a little bit. He grew up a little bit when he lost the Money in the Bank, which I like that story.
Right. Now here's the question: who do you see as his next opponent?
Probably Lashley, or maybe they don't need one. I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, I'm not really sure. I forgot to put this. I forgot to put this in my notes. On Friday night, SmackDown tonight. When people hear this, we're having the World Cup final.
Meh.
Santos Escobar versus Ricochet,
Meh.
and the winner of that faces Gunther.
Meh.
Sal's going mad, but he hasn't actually watched the tournament. Now, what do you think? Who's winning this thing?
It's going to be Santos. I don't think they're going to feed Ricochet to Gunther. I think if you're going to feed someone to Gunther, it's going to be Santos. And of course,
I'm the opposite way. I'm the opposite way. Ricochet go for win the win because you don't want to sacrifice Santos.
No, I think you do, because here's the thing. Then you can have the rest of the Phantasma guys go against Imperium, and let's see who's going to come out on top of this. I think they're going to put the belt on Santos.
I don't believe that at all. I don't think you're taking the belt off Gunther at all. I don't think you're taking the belt off him. That's why I think you're feeding the Ricochet to him, because I don't think you're taking this belt off him until maybe sometime next year. Like, I'll be shocked if they do it before Mania. I'll be shocked if they take the belt off him before Mania. Sal, I think you made the match, but any thoughts on this whole thing?
Meh.
Look at you're half asleep. You're half asleep. Let's get to this main event. So throughout the show, throughout War Games, we had the culmination from Friday, where Friday, Kevin Owens said to talk to Sami Zayn and tried to tell him the Bloodline's going to turn on you. The Bloodline's going to turn on you. Well, Jay heard this whole conversation, confronted Sami, and Sami lied that he didn't have this conversation. And then the crowd on Friday is like, I love the crowd to this, because the crowd is so into this, and it's so much fun. I love how much the crowd's invested in this. So on Saturday, Jay tells Roman what he knows. So Roman tells Paul to call Sami, which, by the way, Paul is the underappreciated person in this whole thing. He's in the background just watching everything in the background.
Wise man.
In the background. So he calls Sami, and Sami confesses to him exactly what happened on Friday, like almost word for word what happened, and then why he didn't tell Jay. I'm like, oh my god, this is how you deal with problems. You just talk to tell the truth. Like, I can just tell the truth in the storyline here. And then we have the match. And it's the War Games match. I joked about this on Twitter. And this match reminded me of like the end of Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame, Infinity War. Where by the end, the bad guys won. But nobody cared. It felt like when it was over. Because this crowd doesn't want to hate Sami at any level. But they're so invested in this storyline that they're willing to go on this roller coaster like all the rest of us are. And my favorite part with me was Jay starts the match. And Jimmy's about to get out of the cage, and Roman stops Jimmy and sends Sami in. And the crowd reaction is like, oh my god. I can't believe this. And we go through this whole match, and at the end of the day, Sami turns on KO, hits him with a low blow, almost starts crying in the ring, emotions, looks at Roman, and then he gets up, hits one of the craziest loop kicks I've seen since he won the NXT Championship. Like, oh my god, that was one of the most intense loop kicks I've seen in years. He hits that, sets up Jay for the usual splash, and
Sami says, "Finish it."
Yeah, and Roman gives Sami a hug, and then Jay, the biggest hug reaction I've heard since Team Hell No, gives Sami a massive hug, picks him up. The crowd's going crazy. I'm like, you guys realize this is the heels, right? This is the heels winning, right? You guys realize it, right? But the Bloodline wins War Games, and I text Sal. I'm like, I know you haven't seen it yet, but this might be one of the best storylines I've ever seen women through a match ever. One of the best things I've ever seen.
So,
Matt, what are your thoughts on this before I throw this out?
The spot that I didn't expect to happen is all of a sudden when the ref is counting, and all of a sudden Sami stops the ref, grabs his arm, so he can't count to 3. And that basically puts everything in motion when Sami was talking to Roman before the match is, I'll give you my all. I'll do everything for you. I'll do anything for Bloodline. I won't disappoint, blah, blah, blah. And to that credit in the storyline, Sami proved himself.
I agree. And I've never seen a crowd this invested in a story. Sal, your thoughts? And because after I hyped it up a bit and then you actually watched it, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a War Games match after a storyline like that always makes the match better. When you have just some pointless Raw versus SmackDown, and they only had 3.5 weeks to put it together, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So the fact that this whole Bloodline, even though their opponents kind of were put together, but they were kind of still having little mini feuds on the side with them for a while, it still worked. And you need to have a storyline like that for that type of match. So it worked.
I agree. I noticed something when the Bloodline came out for their entrance. And I've never really noticed this before, because it was the Roman Reigns music hits. And 2 things I noticed. First thing I noticed, was during the entrance, because they never actually stay on the stage for Roman's entrance. Usually, by the time we get to this point in the entrance, they're running in the ring. Like 10 minutes later, they're finally in the ring. But I noticed two things on the screen I've never noticed before. First, it says the tribal chief at the beginning, and then they flip it and it says the bloodline, which I've never seen before on his entrance video. That was the first time I've ever seen that. And the second thing I saw, if you watch the right corner of the entrance video, there's a little slideshow of all the members of the bloodline. And Sammy's in that montage of pictures. It's a little slideshow thing. I was like, I've never noticed this before. This is a really, really cool thing. But then I'm looking at the bloodline. And I said this to Mandy as we're watching the entrance. I'm like, I don't remember the last time that there was a faction with this many people that every single person has their own personality. And there's a tag team in this group, a legendary tag team that's been together for years. But every single person in this group has their own personality. Everybody does, including Paul.
I mean, and if you take it to where Monday Night Raw and they're coming out and they're doing the salute. Even Sammy's doing the ones, and he's waiting for Jay to kind of, okay, come on, let's put it up, let's put it up, let's put it up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I've never seen a group like this where it's like you have a tag team in the Usos, but each of them have their own personalities now. Like Jay and Jimmy both have their own personalities and their own storyline now. They do have Solo, who's kind of in his own world on his own, doing his thing.
Yeah.
And they have Roman being Roman. Roman's like
Right.
Roman. And then you have Paul Heyman, who's like in his fourth character turn, I think, at this point in his life. Like, this is a completely different character than he played before, doing his thing. And then Sammy. Like,
I mean,
it's insane. I've never seen it like this.
I don't know what particular person came up with putting Sami into the bloodline, but you have reinvented Sami Zayn all over again.
I don't have the clip, and I wish I did. It was during the press conference, and Paul Heyman made a fantastic comparison. He said that Sami Zayn joining the bloodline is like a special guest star on a TV show, being so good and so passionate that now he's in the full cast.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a great comparison.
I mean, he has breathed new life into the bloodline. You would thought that it would have been Solo, but no, it's Sami. Sami has breathed new love into this, life into this faction, and now you can kind of take it in different directions and see where it goes.
No, I believe that would be that. I'm intrigued. I don't know where this is going. Okay, me and Sal were talking about this off air. What do you do next? What do you do next? We don't have pay-per-view now, a pay-per-view event or whatever until the Rumble. We have nothing on the calendar, which is going to be great for us at the podcast. I'm not going to lie. I'm loving December right now. After we get past Ring of Honor and NXT, I'm loving December. But we have nothing to the Rumble. Elimination Chamber is in Montreal. That's important to me. I think they did that. I think they did that on purpose. I have a weird feeling that show is in Montreal for a reason. It's got to be there for a reason. And so that's for those who don't realize why I'm saying it that way, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are both from Montreal. But what do you think happens here? Who's next? Like, who's next for Roman? I'm thinking Sheamus might be next. KO will be next after that. Where do you think we're going with Roman, Sal?
I can see Sheamus, Roman, Sheamus, what's his face?
Arthur?
No.
Sheamus,
Drew?
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
I was very sure you were going with this. I wasn't sure where you were going with this.
I thought maybe he was going to mention Ridge.
Sheamus, Drew, and then KO, and then whoever. Rumble.
Yeah, I'm also intrigued by what you do with the Rumble now. Like, what do you do with the Rumble? Like, do you put, because I have a weird feeling, and this is gut feeling, that we may have an issue like they did with Dana Bryan, that if they don't, they put Sami Zayn, even if they don't put Sami, if Sami Zayn doesn't win this Royal Rumble at this point, this crowd's gonna be pissed. I have this weird gut feeling right now. This is feeling like Daniel Bryan all over again. This is feeling like to me.
So, hypothetically, let's put it this way:
Okay.
If Sami wins the Royal Rumble, what do you have him do? I mean,
he lays down for his tribal chief.
Would you rather have him go after something like Austin Theory?
No, No, the Royal Rumble winner, you're not going to back to the Royal Rumble like you did the Money in the Bank. You're not
Okay.
going to do that.
Okay.
The problem you're having here, and actually Wade Keller, give him credit here. He went on this week's podcast and said, all the rumors we're hearing, we're always talking about the rumors. We always talk about the rumors,
Mhm.
But we don't know what's actually happening backstage right now because this is no longer Vince McMahon's WWE. We have to remind ourselves of that sometimes. This is all about WWE now. And we don't know what he has planned. We don't know what's going on. Because there's rumors going around of Austin Theory versus John Cena. There's rumors going around of Rock coming back and facing Roman. Nothing's confirmed. Nothing is sure. We don't know what's happening with all this. I heard a theory that you have Roman versus Rock on night 1, and then you have the winner of that face the champion whoever wins the Royal Rumble on night 2.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
You know what they should do?
Good.
Pull the old school and just have Roman be the number 1 entrant and defend his title in the Royal Rumble match.
They did that with him once before. They did that once before with him, dude. They didn't what do you feel like they did with Brock that one year? Was it 2021 Rumble? The 2020 Rumble? The Rumble before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Where they had him enter and then hit elimination was like the biggest thing in the entire world. And it wasn't for the title, but that elimination, when Drew eliminated Brock, it was like the biggest thing in the world. You do something like
Put
that.
the title on the line during the Rumble.
Oh,
And just have,
yeah.
and have the winner be the champ.
Do you really want to end Roman Reigns' title reign like that? But I
mean, what else does he have to accomplish?
I'm just
This
saying,
would
but do
be
you really
something
want
that
him
asks
to not
him
get
to
pinned?
do.
I'm agreeing with you, but like, what? Don't you want him to get pinned at the end of all this?
Maybe at Mania. Because then he could gloat for 2 months about how he just was number 1 and won the Royal Rumble and defended his title against 29 other people, and then he could say, all right, now there's literally nobody else for me to beat, and then have somebody come out.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That's an interesting twist. I like that. Okay,
But then,
I like that idea. I like that.
but then you play out the Cody Rhodes storyline.
That's another factor in this. What comes along with Cody? That's another factor. Because Cody is Vince McMahon's WWE. Cody was the Royal Rumble winner. I don't care what anyone tells me. Cody was with the Rumble. I don't think that's the plan now. I don't think that is the plan. Like, we had stopped joking around about Cody's return to the Rumble. I think he's still coming back at the Rumble. I don't think he's winning it now. I don't think he's winning it now.
I don't want to say no, but I think what you do with Cody's storyline is that you have him face Roman because it's all about how he's set up. Like, he wants to get the belt to honor his dad.
And I agree with you. But so much has happened since Cody got hurt. If Cody was still here and he didn't get hurt and he was on TV all the time and he had all these matches and he moved his way up like they were originally planning, I'd be with you. So much has happened since then. I think you got to call an audible. You got to call an audible and not pause on Cody's story.
So I'm going to go on a spin-off and say, if it's not a matter of when Cody comes back.
Oh yeah, well,
and
back at the Rumble.
Okay, sure. And you just don't want to kind of give him the spot. You want him to earn the spot back, because if you give him the spot, then people aren't going to take the storyline seriously.
I have another question. I have a really valid question that I just thought about.
Okay.
What the hell is the men elimination chamber for? What is that for? Because if
about 3 hours.
No, my point is, listen to what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
The Royal Rumble. It's for the main event of WrestleMania, correct? There's only technically right now one world title.
Correct.
What the hell is the men's elimination chamber match for?
That's why I say they need to get rid of the pay-per-view between the Rumble and Mania. It's time. There's no need for it. Get rid of it.
Because I understand the women's one being there.
Okay.
Like, they're going to use that the number contenders match. Whoever doesn't win the Rumble, like, you're going to do like the women's side is going to be just like the men's one been for years because there's 2 belts. But what the hell is that men's elimination chamber for?
So, in theory, wasn't the elimination chamber supposed to basically set up number 1 contender?
Yeah, but the problem is we have one already. If there's only one world title and the Royal Rumble winner's getting that title shot, then what the hell is the chamber match for?
That's for WrestleMania. But
the whole point. Then why is it still happening for her?
So my thing is, you got to do something between now and WrestleMania.
But my point is, and Sal has a valid point saying, why does
Okay.
this show exist then? Why does the Elimination Chamber exist?
I don't know.
If
I
the
don't-
number
I
one
don't-
contender is
I
happening,
can't-
if you only have one world title, why does the chamber exist?
The only thing I can say is, do you like switch where the Elimination Chamber comes as far as in calendar events?
Or just do what Triple H said on the press conference and just not do it this year. Just don't do it. There's no reason for it this year. You can still do a February show. I think they should still do a February show. I don't agree with you, Sal, on that, but I do agree with you that there shouldn't be a chamber this year because there's no storyline for it. There's no reason for it. Like, there's no reason.
Because the other thing too is, you know that the Usos are also banged up pretty bad, and I don't know how long you want them to keep hanging on to the belts.
Probably so long as Roman holds the world title, the Usos are going to have the tag belts.
Because now with the Street Profits coming back, that puts them in the hunt.
They are not dropping the belts with the Street Profits. That ain't happening. We're almost done. I have a weird feeling they're going to end up dropping the belt. If they don't have Sammy win the Rumble, it'll be Sammy and KO beating the Usos. I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay, we got to wrap up because I didn't look at the clock. We're going a lot longer than I thought. So we really should wrap up.
Okay.
Let's do this. Because, Dad, what are we closing the show with?
Hey, we're closing with a wonderful Christmas song, Jingle Bell Rock by Hall & Oates.
Okay, Sal's is driving me nuts on the spreadsheet, and I was losing what he was typing. Sal, take it away, go.
For more information, including on our show, including where you can hear our show, go to theblanketsounds.com or our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages and comment or leave a rating and review, and we'll read it on the show.
That's your thing.
Hey, as always, it's been your pleasure. And if you happen to have a local independent wrestling organization where you live, patronize these people. These are the future young men and women that are going to come up in the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and you'll be amazed in what they're able to do and accomplish. Go to the wrestling shows. They're coming back into like family atmosphere, which is great. But don't embarrass yourself as a fan and do something heinous and get kicked out. Come on. We all want to get along and have a good time. So just follow the rules. It's not that difficult.
All right. Next week we'll be back to preview NXT Deadline. I don't understand why there's a 1 in the title, but that's how they typed it out. And Ring of Honor Final Battle and more. By the way, there's more matches announced for Deadline than for Final Battle. Go figure that one out before this show. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I'm Blake.
I'm Mark.
And you were listening to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Enjoy the day. Be nice to each other. Come on. We're all we got.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.